Cheers.
I've got my sauce. I probably should have.
Wait. Out, back,
Out,
down.
Just don't get it on the microphone.
Out,
Back.
back,
I'm
down,
double tapping
up.
it. Am I not affected? Why am I not affected? Maybe it's because my sinuses are off, but I like the.
God, it was so bad
idea.
I mean, ugh. That's so bad. Ew, gross.
It was so thick. So we are here in the strange cabin, aka Dirty Dan's residence, discussing Witch Dance.
And this is our first ever in-person podcast episode. So hopefully this can be a format that we keep going and explore with, from here on out. Because definitely, better atmosphere. Got a couple of cameras set up. So hopefully it'll be pretty good. So yeah, we're just gonna discuss what we found at Witch Dance. So primarily us three that we were actually out there, but a ton of really great stuff to talk about, I think. So obviously we'll get to the big one, so we'll talk about it, but let's kind of set up some things first. So you gonna start off with anything, Vincent?
So, Witch Dance was definitely interesting and terrifying. For me, it was different because I've never been on scene of like any sort of thing considered paranormal. Which witches, whatever you want to call them, paranormal or not. But there was definitely an uneasy feeling there, and of course, as you know, watching the video, we did have something pretty freaky happen, which I didn't realize until after I was editing. And but just being there in the atmosphere, it was definitely a very unsettling feeling.
The biggest thing was like when we walked down that embankment, and then it immediately just 10 degrees colder. And
Very cold.
Like I get,
I noticed that right away.
yeah, like you said something about it immediately, and I get, there's a difference in like height, so that could potentially play a part. But
I got shivering cold.
it was
Yeah.
freezing.
I had a flannel on. I had to throw a hoodie on over that because it was really cold.
And what was really interesting is literally we were all on Discord, like playing games. And instantly, Lucas was like, you guys want to go to Witch Dance? Let's do it. Why not? So it was a very sudden thing, which made it that much more exciting.
I had to work that day and I was pretty far away, so I'll let y'all have that.
Thank you. Very nice.
Appreciate it.
But there definitely is a very interesting past and story to Witch Dance, which you know more about the Harp family.
Essentially, just to kind of reiterate some of the stuff I talked about. So there was a Harp family. There was a couple brothers, and those brothers were pretty much known when they were alive. I forget the exact dates, around the 1800s. They're making a movie about it in our area. So we actually they reached out to us.
Speak up.
So actually, they're making a movie about it in our area, and actually they reached out to us through me specifically to actually. That's the first time I'm telling you guys about this, to actually kind of be involved in that.
Oh, I was thinking our Chipo would really.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
I was like, wait a second, I haven't heard this before. Hold on.
That's why I was like, oh yeah, I've heard
left me out of this.
No, so
witch.
I don't know what capacity they want us to be involved in it, but it's just one of the people that are involved with the production of it did reach out and say, hey, something that you guys might want to help partner with or something. So I think that'd be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But so just to kind of reiterate on the story, so the guy by the name of Big Harp, again, not super versed on his actual name or information. I'll be honest, I lacked on the research side of it, but was known for kind of being a troublemaker in his time, and he would go around and cause some trouble. So he was apparently on the trace, on the Witch Dance trail where we were known to be at, and he was with a couple of guides, Native American guides from this local area, and he was mocking the witches that were supposed to have lived there prior. They said that if there was an area where a witch had either done a ritual or had done a sacrifice or had done something where it communicated with their deities or gods or whatever it was, that an area of the ground would be would no longer grow grass wherever that ritual had occurred.
Dead spot.
Yeah, a dead spot. So, and Big Harp had gone jumping from place to place, kind of like mockingly.
He was actually, because I did some research too, he was daring the witches to attack him.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm a big man, let's go tempt some witches and be like, attack me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that moment, he didn't necessarily have any repercussions that came out of that. He got away scot-free, and he went on to move up into the Kentucky, Tennessee area, and actually went back home to his hometown of Kentucky, where he had, I believe he had raped a woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Stabbed and
stabbed,
killed,
and maybe there was a baby involved. I think
there was. Yeah.
She was pregnant, and the husband found out, and rightfully so, was absolutely furious. Came back, and they killed Big Harp, and he decapitated him, and he cut his head off, put it onto a tree stump and let it rot down to the bone. And a witch later came along, and she ground the bone up into a paste, and she used that paste and put it onto her nephew, I believe, to help the nephew get better. So it took a long way to get there, but eventually his remains were used in a witchcraft ceremony. So, where he tempted and he danced with fate. He eventually got his turnaround. It may have taken some time, but
which is kind of horrifying, because especially after hearing what we heard in the audio, that later on you never know if that could come back.
So,
right.
I mean, are we? I don't know how to just phrase this, but we're sponsored by Our Tupelo.
Oh, just partner.
We're partners,
Partner.
okay?
Yeah.
So it's its own website that we get posted on, and then a guy or a person by the name of Silvertree commented on our post and said, "I have been to the witch dance. There are many spirits along the way. Do always bring protection when you go." So I tried to reach out to him, like 2 or 3 days later. It's almost a month now, and he hasn't responded.
But hey, Silvertree, if you happen to be watching this, definitely reach back out. We'd love to hear some other stories from other people.
I sent you an email, or I linked my email. I never heard from him yet, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, it'd be absolutely awesome to hear some individual stories from people that have had any similar experiences.
I found a poem too. It's called "The Witch" by Jack Prelutsky. She comes by night in fearsome flight, in garments pitch black as pitch. The Queen of Doom upon her doom, the Queen of Doom upon her broom. The wild and wicked witch, a crackling crone with brittle bones and desiccated limbs, 2 evil eyes with warts and styes, and bags about the rims. A dangled noose, 10 twisted toes, and folded of shriveled skin, cracked in chips and cracked lips. The frame of a toothless grin. She hustles by, she sweeps the sky, and hurls a piercing screech. As she swoops past, a spell is cast on her curses reach, on all her curses reach. Take care to hide when that wild witch rides, to shriek her evil spells. What she do with a word or two is much too grim to tell. Yeah. Apparently I can't read either,
So that,
too much rhyming.
that poem, to me, that was my first time hearing that. I mean, that kind of plays into, like, if you think about, Big Harp tempted them, and look what happened. And I'm not saying that we did that, but, like, there were a couple jokes made, and, when I first got there, I was already just kind of like spooked. I'm kind of a scaredy cat, but like it, but I was immediately unsettled. Something didn't feel right. I don't know if in the actual video where we were kind of going out, I was flipping out. I was trying to be like, hey, let's give this like 20 more minutes, because it was really scary. Something didn't feel right, and I will say, like, I felt like I was being watched the whole time, and even after we thought it was a bus as we were leaving and filming the outro to that video, I kept pointing my flashlight I had back towards the woods because I just felt so uneasy. But that kind of just plays in with all this stuff. Like, how do you know that you're cursed? And it's just, It's just, oh man, it
Found
scares
them.
me.
I found the names of the Hart brothers.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
Was there a Jimmy?
Well, I think this is it.
There was a
Joseph
kid
Thomas Hare and Samuel
Yeah.
Wolfman Mason.
I remember reading up on the hair.
And then I also, this is like the Witch Dance website. I think the mounds that we visited, I think they're saying that it's the same tribe of Indians.
Are they Choctaw?
No.
What are they?
It says the Palo Indian group. It just says that Chickasaw and Choctaw.
Oh, Chickasaw, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And that's what my county's named after.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not from here, William.
You're right. But yeah, it's just showing
Degenerate.
the Bynum Mounds. Let me double check if that's the ones near my house. Yep, it is. That's the ones that we visited.
And I wasn't there for that.
Wait, I think these are something else.
Yeah.
Is that the ones across the street?
They call us the ones that are near my house are the Pocahontas Mounds.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
and
John
Is she in
Smith.
there?
that tribe is native to this area, though.
Yeah.
So, all of that kind of brings us into the evidence that we found. So, for those who haven't watched the video, stop this, what you're doing, go back and watch it,
Yeah.
because it's well worth the watch. It's right around the 20-minute mark, 22-minute
Yeah,
mark.
I'll put a timestamp in the description so it'll be a little easier to get to.
So, if you've already watched it, you know what we're about to talk about. So, there was a point where we had walked down the trail for a good bit. You know, not just a crazy, like it wasn't several miles or anything, but it was a good bit. And we thought we heard something out in the woods. And we had all been kind of looking over the shoulder the whole time. But we started to hear something in the woods. And we weren't really sure kind of what it was. So we were kind of freaked out at this point. I mean, we were feeding off each other. I will 100% say that.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what we heard turned out to just be an armadillo.
With wings, it flew. It said, you didn't see it, but it was there.
But
Had a little broom and everything.
There's a witch armadillo.
a witchadillo. All of that. So that occurred, and we kept going, and we got a little bit further down the trail, about another 5 or 10 minute walk, and we got to a point where the trail really kind of dipped super steep. And I know you couldn't really see a lot because we didn't have a lot of lighting equipment out there, but we had walked up some hills, over some across the street, across a creek, through a pretty extensive trail system, and then into the point where we were at was going downhill, pretty steep. It had been raining pretty heavily. We didn't want to really risk getting hurt or harming ourselves going down any further.
Stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck, and we had all kind of got to this point where we were feeling like unwelcomed out there. So we decided to go ahead and turn back. But right at that same time, so right when we had stopped because we had heard the armadillo, and right before we had got to that point, in the video, you can hear something, and the audio is, I mean, the first thing I heard whenever you play it is I hear "holy shit." Like that's what I hear. I hear it in a small female voice going like "holy shit," you know, and
Keep in mind, there is no way that any three of our voices can mimic that.
Yeah.
You know, because mine is too deep. You know, I mean, Benson and you don't have like an old Creole thing like going on, because that's what it sounds like to me. Is like it's for sure like it sounds like an old Louisiana like Creole accent. You know, but I don't know. That was what I grabbed from it. I heard Holy Spirit. I did have my Bible in my backpack just because, like, I don't know, I just happened to have it, and you know, it could have said that, you know, but
That's why they weren't welcome. That's the label.
Well, so
I also showed some random people I met while I was climbing, and I showed them. We got on the topic about spooky stuff around. And I was like, well, I'm part of a podcast, and some of the guys went out to Witch Dance. They had heard about it, and I showed them, and I went straight to it, and at first they were like, is that not just y'all whispering? I said, no. Here's the people. Now listen. And this one dude, he was like, oh. I was like, yeah. And I got shivers when I first heard it, so I didn't watch any of the footage hear anything until y'all had it edited and posted.
Yeah.
And I was alone in my apartment and I watched it, and then I got shivers, and then
He called me
Yeah.
the moment he found out about it, and I'm in bed. It's like 10:30 at night. I've been laying in bed. We're about to go to sleep.
Old man Lucas.
Oh, of course.
I was asleep. Like I got woken up.
I was awake.
Editing all night.
Editing all night. Well, no, like I'm just sitting there, and the thing is I'm editing. This is like a certain amount of time into, and I'm sitting here just like this, clicking, typing, and I come across that clip, and instantly I was like, oh my god. I was like instant shivers, and it was horrifying because especially that coming from the raw footage in the camera. You see all these videos online saying they draw a red circle, like look here or listen here, and it's kind of hard to believe, but when you get it from the raw footage, it's horrifying.
Well, the craziest thing is y'all didn't hear it while y'all were out there.
We did.
That was the craziest part of it.
Yeah.
And we didn't touch base on it. Now, the one thing that we didn't touch base on in the outing was it before or after where we got the scent? The
It was right. We smelt.
It was after, I believe. We had walked around a little bit.
We said it was cold when we got there. When we went down that embankment, there was wind, but when we entered the woods, there was no wind whatsoever.
Yeah, it was silent.
So it was silent, and then out of nowhere, there was a gust of wind, and all three. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just one person. All three of us smelled this ungodly, like it was almost as if sewage and skunk smell had a child, and that's what that smelled like. And
Y'all
it
were in the
was
holler. As we call it, a holler.
Country man.
and it was awful, but then it was just gone. But
Yeah.
then I think you hear the thing directly after that, and we didn't hear that, and it was just off-putting, and we all noticed it. But yeah.
Well, one thing that's pretty horrifying about it, and that's kind of, you mentioned Choctaw.
Yeah.
That's what you call it, right?
Yeah, that's where I was hoping all this would lead to.
Yeah. So one of my buddies, we all know him, our buddies, whatever.
Yeah, he's not just your friend.
Yeah, well, and we hold hands, but it's fine. My buddy John Hunter, our buddy John Hunter, I got to include. He gets pretty excited about this type of stuff, just like we do. Now, he isn't necessarily a part of our team, but I had mentioned it to him, and he looked into the Choctaw language. Now,
He's smarter than all of us.
yeah, he's a teacher. It's just given.
He's finished college.
He's going to be Indiana Jones when he grows up. So,
True.
But he went and looked it up, and I don't know if you're pulling it up, but it's pretty creepy because he broke down each syllable, and
It's ho-ili-ish.
yeah.
Right?
Now it's a long shot. It really is, but
It adds up.
So
it adds up.
So ho is a command to two or more people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's spelled H-O, and then I-L-L-I means you will pay the ultimate price,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
or sorry, pay the ultimate price, and then ish is you. So holy ish would be something like the two or more people will pay the ultimate price.
There were three of us.
There were three of us. So to have something so intent, I guess would be with such intent or purpose.
That's malicious intent.
Yeah,
How
something
would you
that
spell
has
that? Ho?
H-O-I-L-L-I-I-S-H.
That's syllable. Think of it like three different words kind of.
I felt uneasy that whole time. And how long ago was that? Was that a month or two now?
It's almost a month.
It's been over
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm getting chills right now. I've been so uneasy after being told, I was already, uneasy about that whole thing, but I was, after hearing
Choctaw
that,
language is what it,
after hearing that, it's really been creeping me out bad. It makes me not want to, go out anymore. It really scares me bad. Similar stuff, Bean and I were actually talking the other night. We both got off and we were discussing how some of the members of Ghost Adventures literally got touched by a demon and then quit and then went insane. And
Demon House. I remember that
Zach
episode.
Bagans.
How he literally almost went completely blind.
Oh yeah.
And
then the other guy that just up and left, he's no longer part of that group.
So I mean, it's scary, and so what I would say, just because I've been thinking about this a lot, just be super careful when you're doing this. We will never bullcrap you, and that is a fact in itself, because that was freaky.
And
It was spooky.
That's part of the reason I prefaced it so much in the video, because I mean, like I said, there's so many YouTube channels, so many things you'll see online that show different footage, and all we're gonna bring you is raw. I mean, we're not gonna trick anything.
Now we did go back in and clean up the footage, clean up the audio a little bit. I did.
Is this him?
I did pull a little bit of that audio out. I put it through just using Audacity. Just did a quick, noise reduction, equalizer, just to kind of make it easier to understand and hear, so you can really pick out the pitch of the voice. But there was no adjustments made, or anything after the fact added to it, other than just try to clean up the audio.
Yeah.
So I've found another little interesting fact off of the Witch Dance website. Apparently, Andrew Jackson visited the mounds.
Really?
It says though he wasn't scared of them, they did spark enough interest enough for him to record them in his journal.
Like President?
Yeah, so
that's what I sound like.
During the War of 1812 and the Creek War, so probably when Manifest Destiny was popping off.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good old Andrew Jackson. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Hmm. So he didn't really put much.
Yeah, apparently he was down here. Apparently,
right there with you.
we'll have to edit that out. But he was right there in he was right here in the area, and apparently he just traveled through it.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of people that's gone through it, and I mean, you can look it up online. There's a lot of different opinions about it, but I mean, I am not opposed to going back, but
I'm very creeped out.
it's kind of freaky after hearing that to know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you guys were like, not Tim, but y'all were like mocking the piss out of him.
I'll be honest.
We were.
Like, so we had the weird experience at the beginning, and then we're walking for so long, and up until even after we kind of heard the armadillo, and the armadillo kind of even egged it on a little bit. I was like, oh, this is a complete bust. Like, this is just blown over, and they're overblown, and there's nothing here. Like, it's just a bunch of fairy tales. And I got to the point where I was just like, it's just, let's make the video at least entertaining to watch versus let's actually do anything with it. And man, like, this is the one that like completely changed my point of view on, just because you don't catch anything right now, continue to take it seriously, because you never know like what you're gonna get.
Well, we had the Asbury where we all at one point got really scared.
Yeah.
And we hauled out, and then we have the slab, which that was just weird.
Yeah.
There was the slab was bizarre, man. Like, and me and him even went exploring. Dude, there's cow bones. We went to another area. There's cow bones everywhere up there.
That's weird.
It was very strange. So, I mean, seriously, there used to be cows up there, so that might be why that is. But I mean, something straight up like.
I mean, just to
sounds
kind
like a
of
slaughter.
add a reason to that, my granddad put specific dead cows in a specific area.
So it's haunted by cows.
I mean, that too.
I mean, something was off.
Instead of boo, it's moo. Sorry, I'm just seeing myself out.
I think Asbury was kind of like a given though, just because it's a cemetery and we were there. Like,
I'll be flat honest. Asbury, it was freaky, but I mean, you're at a graveyard in the middle of the night. It's gonna be freaky. I don't think one bit of it felt paranormal freaky.
Right. No, except for that thing me and Lucas heard.
Yeah, I see. I wasn't there for that, so I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, that was, to me, if I had to categorize which one do I think was like more like creepy, paranormal, or worth going out to, I would say Asbury. Like, now having obviously analyzed the audio and hearing what we caught, like I would say 100% that Witch Dance is more deserving of the title of Strange over Asbury.
Oh, dude, hardcore, yeah.
We didn't even judge Asbury Strange,
We
though,
did.
did we?
Yeah, we did.
We were gonna do that at the end of this one, I thought.
Asbury?
Oh no, we did Asbury, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We
We
did.
said
Asbury.
not
We
strange.
voted not skeptical, yeah, or not strange.
Yeah.
Not skeptical.
Graveyards to me, they can be like,
you're the what?
they can be kind of like cliche, because it's. I mean, you can go to a graveyard in the middle of the night, make the thumbnail. The red circle gets me every time. Like, that's one thing I think I'll never do. If I'm going to point out anything, you're going to see like a big old yellow freaking arrow just pointing toward it.
I know what we're doing for April Fool's.
Bigfoot, 100%.
Red circle.
But, I mean, so what I'm kind of getting at is, regardless, we want to entertain. Like, that's one thing we want to focus on. But at the same time, if you see a video and we don't capture footage of anything, don't be surprised. Because, I mean, we're still going to upload it.
Yeah.
Because, it's about the experience.
I think, I don't consider us ghost hunters or paranormal hunters. I consider us urban explorers.
Yeah.
And we're just really a bunch of creatives that want to see some spooky stuff. But, we're also just hanging out and exploring stuff, and we just kind of want to share that with y'all.
Yeah.
So, at the time of this recording, we have 3 or 4 new videos out. Mine will be coming up next. Mine will be released, though, before that. I'll be talking about Lake City Quiet Pills. I'm not going to go into much detail. So I was just kind of going to give everybody the grand overview, what happened. I wasn't really digging into theories as much as some other people. I gave credit where credit was due. And then I'm going to start probably researching the Stanford prison experiment.
Okay.
So it was Philip Zimbardo. I gotta make sure I'm saying that right.
Evil name. Very evil
So
name.
he pretty much built a prison, and he was a psychology professor, and he studied. He has a lot of studies. Pretty much, he built a prison in the basement of his research lab and assigned students as prisoners and guards. And a lot of crazy stuff happened. He also did a shock experiment to where there was a audio track being recorded of a guy yelling, increasingly pain. And pretty much, that's the one we talked about in class and in my deviant behavior class. And then my professor, she was like, this is pretty much, if people have an excuse of someone overpower of them, telling them to keep on going, most people are going to do it. Benson documentation came out.
Documentation did come out.
We don't really have a description of that.
There's not much. I'm gonna let it do what it's doing. So I don't want to give too much information on it because it's kind of building a puzzle.
Well, you're in the mind of Benson Hurst when
It's a
you're
very
watching
weird
that.
place.
It's phenomenal video. So
It's
far.
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Whoa!
The friend that I put on the podcast, she was like, "What was that?"
Oh, she saw it? Yay!
I made her watch it. She was like, "What was that?" I said, "Don't worry about it."
Even Buck was like, "Man, this is."
Oh,
this
Buck's
is
like,
really,
everybody
Buck watched it,
stop!
So
I'm blushing.
I'm loving that everybody's watching it. So
And then
Ben, you got
Tales from the Strange.
I just put that out, and just to kind of put it in perspective, our purpose is to be as vague as possible. Mine is what it is. I've been wanting to do narrations for a really long time, and it's something that I've been messing around with for forever, but this is a way to get like my voice out there. And I have a really hard time ordering food because of my voice, and it's a bad time. And
Beth.
Oh, yeah, Beth.
Okay, a small thing I have to talk about. That got brought up.
I'm sorry.
Chick-fil-A is the most notoriously bad about this, but they get my name wrong every single time, and they've called me Bim and Boom, and this last time, I was just trying to get a biscuit, and they called me Beth with a question mark. And I'm not about that. So Chick-fil-A in our hometown. Come on, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
It's
Like,
not your fault.
I'm trying not to.
We're dealing with
no.
sick Benson too.
We have Bean's video. No, we have Will's video coming out next week, and then Bean after that, and then
This video will have been
this will be
released
out.
on
And then-
Friday.
And then-
Lucas's has been released. What was your name of yours again?
Return.
Return. Yes.
So again, each one of mine is essentially a small story that's building to the larger picture, but it's also they're consumable upon their own merit. So not anything you have to watch in a series, but they do make a story in the series. So it's individual slices of the events that are occurring. It's all tied around a central theme. Each one has kind of its own theme that's kind of just vague and you have to kind of dig deep to find the whole thing of it. But kind of what Benson said, it's all building to something. It's building to a big thing, and don't want to go too much into it. And not because we haven't quite figured it out. That's part of it, but also because it is it's more about the experience of getting there versus once we actually get there and have that video out. It's more about building that atmosphere and building that universe, so to speak, that we're currently on right now.
It's also kind of letting you know what we're about as individuals and what we're trying to provide for you as a group. And I'm pretty sure all these guys agree with that. So
yeah.
Also, during the summer, me and Lucas are going to be working on a pretty big project for me. Also, we have sick Benson. That's why he's coughing.
I'm actually like half laughing, half coughing. Every time Ben talks, it's just good.
Well, I'm making sure we get the best sound.
But it makes me want to cough.
Okay,
like
Chick-fil-A, calm down.
If you could see what I could see on the audio track.
Yeah.
So, Witch Dance. Strange or not strange?
pretty freaking strange. I'm gonna go for.
My vote.
Said that like Yoda. Hit my head.
No, just bring the mic back over here. Will. I'm gonna say strange. I've never had a place.
I'm trying not to cough. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Wait, I got cracked up real bad. I'm gonna say strange. I'm gonna say strange. Stop. I'm gonna say strange just because I've never had a place perturb me that bad before, and I mean it's pretty scary when an entity that you could not see nor hear but you smelled straight up tells you you will pay the ultimate price, and you know it doesn't get more real than that for me. So that was strange.
I mean, there's no question about it. I'm going strange. Like there's evidence, that we have captured that shows that there was something there that we couldn't experience or did not experience in the moment. So yeah, I mean it's strange as hell. Like it's there.
Mean, what are we?
So through my experiences there, it was only during the daytime. I'm looking right at this camera right here.
No, I believe you.
Right, it was during the daytime. I really had to pee, but Ben, that bathroom was pretty strange.
What are you talking about?
He went out in the daytime.
Oh yeah.
Well, from what I heard and saw and from y'all, I mean, I'd call it strange. Even though that's in my backyard, I've never been. I was reading. Apparently, it's just you only camp there if you're biking. So I mean, I've driven past it multiple times. I know it's a horse trail. I've seen people riding horses, but like I've never really cared to stop. I call it strange. We need to go revisit the mounds again.
I agree.
Take a look again.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of do a little 10-minute video on that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'd say this is awesome. So it's the first time we've ever had a unanimous strange vote.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
This was also our first time in a live setting together. We all avidly hang out together outside of work, and this was the first podcast that we were all able to
Actually, get outside.
It's fun.
act like it's not there.
I can't. Now you're moving it slow like it's a big.
It's not here.
But this was our first. I'm sorry. This was our first live setting. So live. Oh my god, dude, you're gonna have to cut that.
Man, I can
No,
do it.
what we really did, we're just setting up for a big, strange cornel blooper reel.
Yeah.
And it's going to be every time we've messed up.
I will say this though. In the future, hopefully soon, we prepare to have better equipment. I mean, I've already got a microphone attached, a Rode Go microphone, so it's hopefully better audio. Lighting, definitely gonna be something.
I'm going to learn how to edit at some point.
Since you got a Mac, I mean, I haven't really been able to test the software.
We're not
yet.
sponsored, don't say that.
I'm not saying the software.
No, I'm talking about the computer.
I'm talking about a truck.
We're not sponsored by that either.
Talking about Mackenzie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you know her. Actually,
But,
I know one of those.
we're gonna do a synchronized head down when I say we don't say goodbyes here. All right, everybody in agreement? So yeah, we don't say goodbye to.
I don't believe it.
Goodbye! You gorge.
All right.
Before we do that, I do have one more thing. So, if you guys have any suggestions of where we should go or have any comments that you'd like to let us know about, I will go ahead and we have a community email that we use, and I'll put that in the description box. And then go ahead and comment, share this video around so that other people are aware. That's one of the biggest things you can do to help us out right now is just share our videos and comment and let us know how we can make these more enjoyable to watch. So if you like this live setting over what we've done in the past where we've had our in-person or our camera set up and we've done over the internet, let us know. Because to me personally, this feels better. So this is the way we should do it. So but if you don't agree, by all means, let us know.
We're dedicated too because it's midnight.
Also,
and I gotta be at work at 7.
Also, let us know what you think, skeptical or not, or strange or skeptical. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you in the comment section.
Are you okay over there, Hoss?
But we want to hear from you guys. We like talking with you. So
yeah, we love the community involvement, and I have some videos planned where I plan on getting you guys involved. So things like the video will come out and there'll be clues hidden in the video. So keep a watch out for those because that'll be local stuff for now. So you'll actually have a chance to get out, maybe find some props that I've built that will be out and about, hidden somewhere that you can use as fan-based stuff. So stuff that'll keep you entertained and also get you out and about to do some stuff with us. So be on the lookout for those because those are coming this summer.
Ooh. So here at the Strange Corner, we don't believe in goodbyes.